Welcome to Musing with Tanya D. I am your host once again, Tanya D. And I just want you to know I thank and appreciate you for tuning in, listening, and engaging to my podcast. If you ever have something to comment on, please, I think there's some links below. You're on my website. It's easier, obviously. Send me an email. I'll put those down there. But so I want to continue the journey of the fire element and foods. So you also need food in the summer time that will actually replenish and nourish your fire element. So remembering that the fire element actually relates to bitter flavors, which are more commonly a taste that you can find in herbs. And as far as greens, like arugula is my most favorite. I could eat a container of that daily. But there's a variety of foods that are considered bitter that actually help to nourish your fire energy and the fire element. So like I said, arugula is one of my favorites. Green leafy vegetables, especially endive, escarole, even watercress. And most lettuces have a little of this quality too, but coffee does, tea, natural chocolate without sugar, dark chocolate, very bitter. But remember, where a little can nourish, too much can also cause harm. So if your fire element is too weak or strong, there may be a special attraction or a repulsion towards bitter flavored foods. So people with increased fire might be hot types, full of energy with red complexions, usually overly busy or very busy, and they love to talk, they socialize, and they may find it hard to relax or to even slow down and to feel. So cooling the diet for the summer, primarily with fruits and vegetables with lots of juices and water, will actually help the fire energy. Cucumbers, citrus fruits, those are amazingly good. Like I said, I do that lemon thing every morning. It's like my daily habit. But so with people with a weaker fire or a more warming and a cooked food diet, especially whole grains, might be helpful if your fire energy is weak, like buckwheat and millet. Those are really good heaters. So spices or herbs that heat you up, like cayenne, ginger, curry, and that'll add a little fire to the blood as well. So when you think about your nutrition habits and your NQ, your quotient, and the small intestine. So the small intestine is actually where the body receives the nourishment from the foods that you eat. So having a properly functioning small intestine is like kudos. Muramoto in Healing Ourselves says that a poorly functioning small intestine leads to weak fire and then to poor blood formation. According to an herbalist, William Lasessor, a food good combination to cleanse and tone the small intestines is equal parts brown rice, lentils, and sunflower seeds. Add 1.5 of these times to that same amount of water. So 1 cup to 1 cup. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Simmer it slowly for about 45 minutes and eat a cup or two daily for a few weeks. It's actually pretty tasting. It's really filling, and it's a great heat producer, and it will help the assimilation function of the small intestine. So when you think about your nutrition quotient in the heart, so the medical field is advancing hugely when it comes to the heart. And it's fascinating what you can do with the heart. Like my friend went in, now this is kind of wild, but she'd had a freaking heart attack with no symptoms whatsoever. But the only symptom she did have, because it just wasn't the traditional symptom, but was headaches, horrible headaches. And what happened is the blood flowing from the heart up into the brain, obviously, those valves were actually clogged. So the oxygenation that the brain needed wasn't getting it. And that's what was actually creating the headaches. But she'd finally gone into the Instacare because the headache got so bad. And they did all kinds of scans, couldn't find out anything that was going on. However, they knew something was going on. Well, I guess she'd had a heart attack, and they went in. She watched the whole thing, put in 2 stents, done in an hour, boom, headache gone. It's just amazing what our medical field and how quickly they go. But But however, it's my belief that if we start actually listening and tuning into our bodies, that we could actually prevent a lot of degenerative diseases that are happening through better nutrition and the effects of better nutrition, along with daily exercise and a few other things. But the relationship of nutrition to the heart and the vascular disease is actually pretty high, and it's finally becoming more understood as far as too is like when you think about the blood, the purpose of the blood. And I actually have a client who's a doctor, and he looks at the blood as its own organ as well, like off on its own, just because of all the possibilities that you can find out in the blood. So when you think about the deposit of fats and other debris in the blood vessels, and they're associated with high cholesterol and somebody who has a lot of animal fats in their daily eating habits. So it's also possibly related to a diet that's high in unsaturated fats that's found in vegetable oils, seeds, nuts, avocados, etc. And the plaques or the deposits in the blood vessels can actually, over time, eventually, it compromises the blood flow and the oxygenation or the life of the cells and your tissues, where a short-term or acute and chronic diseases, such as heart attacks, high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, strokes, result from a lot of that process, which is, food. I think everything comes back to food. But the disease is generally related to the type of diets that run in your family too. So, and another problem that we have is our culture and the advertisers of food. So if you have a diet that's high in red meats, animal fats, sugars, starches, along with a bunch of additives and preservatives, without regularly cleansing the toxins in the foods that you introduce, it actually creates havoc on your blood vessels. And they found that it's actually especially true for heart arteries, where plaques that are made up of fats and calcium, they actually can lead to inadequate circulation, and then it restricts the activity. And you start having pain from insufficient blood flow to your heart, and then heart attacks. Also, if you have like low energy, loss of sexual functioning, your brain or thinking dysfunctions in the mind, along with high blood pressure or kidney problems, loss of stamina, can all result in heart conditions throughout your veins, the vessels throughout your whole body. So when you start to learn more about nutrition, your lifestyle, and how it affects and causes on the healing of the heart disease in the entire body, so improving on a low-fat diet and more fruits and vegetables, more vegetarian, regular exercise, it seems over time they found that that actually adds in the change of your eating habits. It will change the body along with the state, and it also affects your a new pathogen created by the previous way you were eating. So here are a few guidelines. They're from Live Longer Now, and that also helps with diabetes, arthritis, cancer. So the first list I'm going to name off are things to avoid, followed by a second list of things that are actually positive. So first off is to avoid salt. And obviously salt is a villain in the volume overload aspect of high blood pressure, and heated refined salt with its additives for flow and color, it's actually a poison to your body. Second, avoid fatty foods, including fried foods. Heated oils are chemically changed, making them very hard for the body to digest. So if you avoid especially fatty meats, oils, and you do need a little uncooked cold pressed oil in your diet, preferably olive, sesame, coconut, sunflower oils. They're generally fine, but get rid of shortening, butter, dairy products, etc. I love avocados myself, but avoid foods that are high cholesterol foods like eggs, which is the yolks, fatty meats, shellfish, animal organs, believe it or not, like the liver. So if eating meat, only eat small portions of lean meat, poultry. Avoid oily skins or fish. Avoid sugar in any of its forms. Avoid candy, cookies, pastries, packaged cereals. Oh my gosh. This also includes brown sugar, honey, and syrups. Avoid refined or processed foods and anything with a boatload of chemical additives. Well, that's a given. I can't say I'd avoid coffee or caffeine teas. Now, here's a list of things that is the best, which is, of course, eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. I don't know how we got away from the habit of snacking on fresh fruit versus potato chips, right? So, go back to fruits and vegetables, raw, steamed, baked. Try sauteing or steaming instead of using oil for your foods. Eat whole grains like rolled oats, brown rice, millet, buckwheat. I kind of stay away from wheat. I think it's been overdone. Small amounts of lean meats. I generally stick with fish and chicken myself. And you can also use some vegetable salt from naturally dried vegetables. And some blends, you'll find, they have a small amount of sea salt where your body needs some salt. But you have to realize that we've refined salt to where I don't even know if it's salt anymore. So the more you exercise and sweat, the more salt you actually need. But if you have heart or blood pressure problems, it's best to even avoid sea salt, soy sauce, tamari, and obtain the salt you need solely from the food you eat. I love herbal teas. Exercise is a huge part. And if you start to crave old habits, go out in nature, go for a walk, take a cold shower. Depending on the state of your health, your body can use some natural oil-rich foods that you might avoid otherwise in order to keep your fat and oil intake low. These are the seeds like sunflower and sesame, nuts, avocados, salad oils, some dairy products or occasional eggs, but too much of these will be more dietary fat than you actually need. So, water. In general, most cities' waters are actually high in chloride, fluoride, and industrial chemicals. Plus, who knows what else they got in there now. So I use spring water. I get distilled water or purified water for my drinking rituals. But if you have to use tap water, it's actually better if you can boil it for 15 minutes. To solarize it by placing a clear glass in sunlight for 1 or 2 days can also help before drinking it. And it takes out a lot of the chlorine and puts vital energy. And honestly, it just tastes better. Another great thing for summertime is we seem to exercise more. And it's great for the heart and the circulatory system. I do a lot of cardio myself. And what I find is it keeps me in tune, my entire body. And it helps strengthen the fire element. So a plethora of books have been written on all sports, calisthenics, and other practices, yoga, Pilates, etc. But it's obvious that you can't do any movement without using your muscles and your bones. So you got to consider exercise as a separate event from daily work and your household cleaning, your errands, etc. So when you take time and create a space in your life for a specific activity, which will take you to your physical limit and beyond, you're going to be doing your body the most amazing good. So exercise to make you sweat. It'll actually help eliminate some toxins from the blood, and it eliminates them through the skin. So sweat is actually a byproduct of the circulation process in which your capillaries will bring heat or blood flow to the skin and dump waste products out. So daily exercise up to your own limits will open up the old circulation and create new collateral circulation. And collaterals are referred to new blood vessels which form and grow to provide more blood flow to needed areas which have been restricted on their circulation. It's vital for people with heart and blood vessel disease who need increased circulation. Regular exercise is a stimulus formation of collateral blood vessels. So not only is exercise better for the clarity in the mind, it also is the clarity of the blood. And it actually, I believe it piques your intuition. That's just something I found. And it assists in alleviating tiredness, lack of energy, and you might just find that it reduces excess weight by increasing your energetic output. It helps in elimination both by sweating and by stimulating the function of your internal organs and the intestines. It can also increase your strength, your endurance, and it assists in coordination. So, and along with helping reduce your own stress level, it provides a sense of well-being as well as improving your flexibility, reducing your joint and muscular stiffness. So, and if that wasn't enough reason to exercise, I find that it's in my belief that exercise will slow down the aging process while promoting longevity. But honestly, it takes a lot of work and a lot of commitment to keep yourself in top shape. So I find that I actually am addicted to exercise. It's almost like I crave it and I feel so much better. And I do it random times, whether I go first thing in the morning, late at night. Sometimes I work out at 8 o'clock at night, but I just feel better. I like to lift weights because it's different muscle groups all the time. I do a lot of cardio. I do a power pump class. I used to do a jog and running thing. Swimming is great. Even sports help with your strength and improve your lung capacity along with your endurance, giving you more stamina just to deal with life. Stretching exercises, like I said, yoga, even martial art, Aikido, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, they help in the flexibility along with the coordination. They promote strength and, again, the mental and physical relaxation. You have this wonderful internal balance of a more active outward body. So, just moving the body vigorously through physical fitness, it's a direct result of physical activity, where physical activity leads to physical fitness. And you need to be more vigorous and become regular or create a ritual, and people will accept challenges. I love a good challenge. So if you have a great exercise program where it's primarily stretching and regular practice, it will actually increase your muscle tone, your muscular strength, your endurance, your flexibility, and more importantly, the efficiency of your heart. But it goes on that fitness is, it's actually a personal thing. So you need to be the better judge of your own fitness and what it means to you. So exercise being used in weight control and relieving chronic tiredness and helping minor aches and pains. Here are some interesting facts about the body and muscles. Muscles not adequately exercised or used actually become weak and inefficient, where weak back muscles are a major source of low back pains, and increasing their strength will help eliminate the pains. My trainer works out my back every freaking Monday. He kills me, and I keep telling him, does he forget I'm a woman? Anyway, another great thing is the more efficient and the capacity of your lungs, your heart, and other organs, they actually improve by regular, vigorous exercise. Where a fit person is less susceptible to common injuries, and if injured, they recover more rapidly. You'll notice the incidence of degenerative heart diseases may be greater in people who've not followed a physically active life, where regular vigorous exercise plays an important role in controlling your weight and helping to reduce emotional and nervous tension. And we're never too old to begin or follow a regular exercise routine, in my opinion. So my main interest is to get you inspired and out there doing it, appreciating the importance of regular exercise. If you think you're too busy or have other excuses, you actually need to reevaluate your life priorities. So if you think that you are too old, too tired, too sick, you just have to get started at your own capacity. I am a do it if you're hungry or tired exercise. Eat and rest later. Exercise will fat up or use up fat that you're storing during inactivity, and excessive fats and circulating in the blood can actually create fatigue. Besides a plethora of other benefits, regular exercise and creating a program plays a vital role in preventing and sometimes reversing degenerative diseases. There are many positive effects on exercise with the heart, disease, high blood pressure, even diabetes. But exercise can also help prevent many illnesses from arising. It might help you feel younger, add more vitality to your days, even to years of your life. It can even especially influence our age in what are called, in the past, the middle years, because I'm not there, between ages 40 and 60. And remember, you are as young as you feel. Thanks for joining me for this podcast. I hope it inspired you to shift your vibration, you little energetic being you. Live light and love. Thanks for joining me, Musing with Tanya D. Please like, share, and engage my podcasts. And join my online course, The Balance of Being, where I go over all these things and give you workbooks, handbooks, meditations, and so much more. Ta-ta for now.